I didn't get my weekly hike today. Things happened. There was a slight meltdown in my household, and we ended up not hiking, and everyone has gone their separate ways. And I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with... Jackie, come on! My dog is going too far. Hey! She is on a trail, and I don't want her to go too far because she's not supposed to be off leash. Well, today is absolutely glorious. It is February, and it feels like it's March or April. I mean, it's ridiculously warm and nice. And so, my sister-in-law let me use her car. I don't currently have a car right now. It got stolen while I was gone, and I just didn't have the money when I first came back to get a car. So she let me use her car today, which was super nice. And you not having a car gives you a weird sense of cabin fever all the time, and so I used her car to run some errands and stuff, and I was just thinking how I like living with my brother and my sister-in-law most of the time. I mean, roommates are never entirely easy. Especially a couple, because, couples fight. That's just a given. But there's a part that I don't like, and that is it's a loss of independence. And I have a habit and a pattern in my life of seeking approval and validation and permission from people in my life, and of trying to please them and not taking accountability for myself. And while I was on pretrial and living in my own apartment and living by myself, I worked really hard not to put anyone in a position of that kind of respect, that I looked to them for approval. And since I've gotten home, something about prison does this weird thing where it kind of chips away who you are and the layers of who you are, and your armor kind of disappears, or at least for me it did. It was like it pared away everything that I had built around myself, and I felt like I had no armor left, no skin, no shell, and I just had to layer it on. And when I came home, I didn't have my anchor, I didn't have my own home, I didn't have my own car, my business is barely functioning. It was functioning, but I mean, it was very small. So I didn't have my own money. I lived in someone else's house. They had to feed me and buy me clothes and everything, They bought me a phone, everything that I had for those first, few weeks, a few months, someone else gave to me. And so now I have more independence. I have my own money because I make my own money and I buy my own stuff, my own everything, but I don't have a car. So if I need a car, if I don't have the money for like an Uber or something, I have to borrow a car. And so I'm always getting a ride from people, which makes you feel more dependent. And I live with people, and so that makes me feel dependent. And when you are the roommate of a couple, you feel like a third wheel a lot. Like you are a guest and not that it's your house, and it doesn't feel like my house that I'm sharing with people. It feels like their house that they're sharing with me. And sometimes, it gives me a sense of being dependent and less than. And I'm just worried because I really respect Lily and my sister-in-law. I respect her a lot and who she is and stuff, but I'm worried that I'm going to put her in a position of authority over me. She doesn't want that in any way. She's not the personality type that wants to be in that position. But I find that I'm not an alpha personality. I'm more of a beta. I wouldn't necessarily, I've been an omega many times, but I think my natural state is I'm not an omega. I don't like to submit. I fall into position well, so I think I'm more of a beta where I can lead if I need to, but I don't really want to. And I find that when I'm around a strong alpha personality, I do fall in line, and I'm just worried that I'm going to put her in a position that damages myself, not by her intention at all, but by my pattern that I always do. I don't want to put her in a position where I'm looking to her for approval on everything instead of taking validation on myself, and I try to form to fit what makes her happy and pleased. And same thing with my brother and stuff, because they are stronger personalities, and I don't want to do that, because getting my independence is very important, and taking responsibility and ownership for my soul is very important. And I don't want to, checking on my dog, I don't want to go backwards and put someone else in a position where they can damage me. In her defense, she does not want to be in control of me in any way. But so it's totally from my perspective, but I'm worried that I will fall back into my bad habits. And that's one of the reasons I've avoided a relationship with someone, is because I am a pleaser, and if I fell in love with someone, I would want to please them and maybe change myself to make them happy and please them. And I do that with people I like, or people that I respect, or when it's something that I think I should do, I will change myself to fit that chameleon. I'll become a chameleon and change myself to fit what I think people want to see. And I don't want to do that. I want to stay true to me and honest to myself. And I just worry about that. And I'm not sure how to protect myself and keep myself from doing that while not putting up barriers and cutting people out of my life because I'm afraid to have a relationship. So that's kind of what I'm going around in my head with today. So I'm still figuring out me, and sometimes I feel like that year away set me back, and then other times I feel like it sped things up. So we'll see.